Hey, today we have news about the latest major order. We're very close to succeeding, but there's a problem. We'll also go over information regarding the leak, and there's much more to discuss. And as always, if you can show your support, please tap the like button below and consider subscribing with notifications on. Let's go over the latest major order because Crimsica is under attack right now, a planet we absolutely have to defend. If we fail, then we're going to have to liberate this planet again, and that's not ideal considering we only have 24 hours left of making this video. We're literally neck and neck with the Terminids, just like we were when we were defending H-Shirts, so I highly suggest we all, literally all of us, even you guys on the bot side, head over to Crimsica right now to defend it. If you want to make this go by faster, there's currently a bug with the emergency evacuation mission. If you complete the 2 mission objectives, then head to the main objective, it will automatically complete once you enter the combination and finish the last few steps on the terminal. Towards the end, you'll see that it will automatically complete without extracting any civilians. That aside, once we defend Crimsica, the only options we have left is to keep our eyes peeled for any more Terminid invasions. They could make their way from Fori Prime to the Crux planet, and that would be awfully terrible, so that is something to look out for. You never know what might happen. There's also Bay and the Partian planet that can potentially attack Crux as well, but other than that, we should be safe, provided we do not fail at defending Crimsica. Anyway, I thought I'd give you all a warning about this so that you can make your way over here and defend this planet as soon as possible. We absolutely do not want to fail this major order, or again, as you guys know, it will delay the construction of the Democracy Space Station, as the developers mentioned last time. So we have to keep pushing forward and defending until it's officially over. Now, the game plan for this situation is to defend Crimsica, then afterwards head over to Bay and liberate it just to make sure we're safe from Terminid attacks, then possibly head to the top right towards Partian next, only if we have enough time to do so. We might not, mainly due to the fact we only have 24 hours left to finish this major order. Maybe sometimes afterwards, we should receive a new major order because, we always do. Typically, we always do. Possibly it will be on the Automaton side, or really, who knows? Maybe we'll have to stay on the right side and fight the bugs again. But I have a good feeling we'll end up making our way towards the Automaton side. They had breached the logistics hub data last time and potentially have information regarding the Democracy Space Station. The success message from last time actually hinted at this, if you didn't know about it. So that might be a possibility that we'll have to head over to the Automaton side next to stop them from attacking the hub, or maybe the Democracy Space Station. Next, we're going to talk about an exchange system that's going to be arriving at some point down the road. We all know that yesterday in the video I created, I included a quote from the developers that stated we can expect more currencies and rewards to give us all something to do. But we have more news about this. A player named Ironsights had revealed a leak that suggested we'll see an exchange system with a droid that will allow you to purchase items. Now, before I show this, feel free to leave now. I don't want to ruin anything for you guys. But with that said, this is what they are. There are 3 shop sections such as General, Premium Cosmetics, and Rare Stratagems. As I mentioned 2 days ago, the developers talked about giving players more things to do with currencies and rewards, and I suspect the new currencies will be usable to purchase items from this droid. Not only that, Ironsights also mentioned there's going to be ways to sell items to this bot so we can actually receive requisition slips in return. Right here, he wrote in his post and said, "You can sell items to the Hellbot for requisition slips. The value of items are controlled by an index system." If you've seen one of my past videos that talked about this bot previously, we also know at one point it was supposed to be a bot that could be used on the battlefield, but this might be a scrapped idea. Ironsights mentioned this at the bottom of his post and said, "The Hellbot can still fight in game, but this may be scrapped." Yeah, there's a chance this bot right here could fight for us still, but there's no official word that it's been scrapped, or that it will happen either, right? I'd like to think that the Rare Stratagems could contain a robot in there that we can use on the field, but that's just a wild guess. So we know for a fact the developers have intentions to give us new content by purchasing stratagems, cosmetics, and whatever else General might imply. Maybe that will be a section that we can click on and purchase boosts for XP, possibly ways to purchase boosts that allows us to decrease the cooldowns on stratagems. There could be something like that. I'm just throwing a few ideas around. With that being said, this is not the only post Ironsights had created. He also revealed on X that there's more platoon news. If you're not too sure what this is, basically it's a clan system. I'd say a majority of us thought the Democracy Space Station was going to contain a clan system, yet who knows if it does. Maybe it's separate from the platoons. Now, with that being said, Ironsights wrote this on his page and said, "More platoon info. clan announcements, clan events, clan chat room, clan vote for user, clan news, clan flag, and lastly, you may be able to join multiple clans. It's supported. The last point is a significant one for me and possibly for some of you as well. There's a possibility you will be able to join not just one clan, but multiple clans. There might be a limit to this, though we don't know yet for sure if there will be. I'd imagine there would be some restrictions. Nonetheless, it looks like there will be a system for clan announcements, where if you're in a clan, you could relay information to others about what's happening, perhaps details on a major order or something similar. There are also chat rooms specifically for clans. Not entirely sure what the voting system pertains to, but it could be a way for the clan to decide which plans to attack and liberate, if it's like a clan objective or something like that. Of course, there's all the other stuff coming as well, but as of right now, this is all we know so far, and things are getting interesting. I'm excited about the future content for Helldivers 2. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on these leaks. Does anything catch your interest, or would you prefer if there were no clan system or purchasable cosmetics, stratagems, and so on? Share your thoughts below and let me know. Moving along, recently Arrowhead released a form for us to fill out, for us to provide some feedback to let them know how we feel. However, the survey was quickly filled out by many players, and Baskinator updated the post stating that the survey was already full. Now, with that said, why is it so difficult to participate in these surveys? You can see from a post on the Helldivers 2 Discord by the community manager Twinbeard, who replied to a member about this issue, stating, "They fill up rather quickly, I'm afraid. There's just a lot of Helldivers out there. There's a limited amount of spots, participants for them. We try to spread them out over time zones to cater to both Europe and US. Sooner or later, you'll be able to get in there, I'm sure." The fact is, as Twinbeard mentioned, there are a lot of Helldivers filling out these surveys, which is why many of you who had trouble in the past couldn't fill out a form. So if you had trouble recently, then I suggest keeping an eye open for the next survey. When it does pop up, I'll try to let you all know over on my Discord, which can be found below in the description, so check that as soon as you can and join up. On a different note, there were rumors going around that Arrowhead is planning on swapping engines, which at the time I didn't believe, and I still don't believe, especially after what the recent support team member had to say. Before we get into that post, if you didn't know, there were assumptions going around that the Arrowhead devs were looking into swapping the Stingray engine out for the Unreal Engine. This came about when a job position was found on Arrowhead's site for a game engineer position. Right here it says, "You have extensive experience with C++, game engines, and ideally with adopting a new game engine tech stack." If you've already seen this in another video of mine, I apologize, but I had to include it for those who missed it and might want more context on this topic. Now, that aside, essentially this could be a way for them to eventually transition to Unreal Engine for a different game they might have in mind, or potentially they could be considering Helldivers 3, though that seems far off in the distant future, right? I don't expect them to start developing a sequel anytime soon, as they have plans to continue adding content to Helldivers 2. Anyways, the support team member B Vitamin had responded to the rumors and wrote this on the Helldivers 2 Discord. "It would be more or less involved starting developing the game again from the ground up. You can't just change engines. It's the foundation that everything else is built on top of. Moving an entire live service game after release to another engine is basically impossible, and if it was possible, would be resource intensive to never be worth it." So yeah, it's clear from the post that swapping engines is a massive undertaking and extremely resource intensive for Arrowhead. Again, I wasn't expecting them to switch to Unreal for Helldivers 2, especially given how complex it really is. So if you have heard rumors about this specifically, that, they're going to swap engines, it's not true. But hey, it's a possibility that they will do that in the future, not for Helldivers 2, but for Helldivers 3 or whatever game they have in mind. But we do know for a fact that Arrowhead is planning to host stream soon, though I'm not certain if this aligns with what Twinbeard recently hinted at in his post. If you head over to X, you can see his post right here, shows an image showing a microphone and a light setup. I think we can expect a stream very soon if they're already setting things up like this. Lastly, what I'd like to do on this channel is discuss your suggested loadouts, and that's what I'll be doing right now. In the last video, a player named Hadfield15 suggested I try out their loadout. For our primary, we have the Torture, which is an absolute beast against Terminids like Brood Commanders, Alpha Commanders, Hive Guards, and even Chargers. The secondary is a grenade pistol for dealing with enemies that are grouped up together, and for bug holes. And for grenades, we've got stuns to slow down Chargers, allowing us to get behind them and inflict damage on their backs. You, of course, can use that for a group of enemies as well. Hadfield recommend using the Armor passive that increases your throwing range. Now for stratagems, I like the ones he suggested. We've got the guard dog, which can now penetrate enemies better like the commanders. For offensive stratagems, there's the Eagle Cluster Bomb for taking out groups of Terminids. The Orbital Precision Strike is great for chargers and impalers and bile titans. And lastly but not least, or last but not least I should say, the Orbital Napalm Barrage, which packs a lot of heat and damage. I like using that with the cluster bombs for extra kills. It goes well together. Overall, I think this is a fantastic loadout, and I give it 5 out of 5 Helldiver stars. It's pretty neat loadout. If you'd like me to discuss your loadout, suggest it below, and I might just talk about it in the next video. With all the information being said, this is your Helldivers 2 news. If you guys would like to be featured in the next video, comment down below, and you just might be featured because we're going to check out the top 3 comments. The first comment is by MikeBuzz8816. Everyone complaining about the game being too easy need to go back to Dark Souls. Newsflash, most of us like the buffs. Stop trying to ruin our game. And yes, I agree. It's getting crazy. If you want to play something difficult, Dark Souls is definitely your place to go to. It truly is. It's an incredible game, but also very difficult. The second comment is by TenHeart2853. Quick summary, Stalwart doesn't need to be a primary. They would have to rebalance it to make ARs literally obsolete. Patrols are literally fixed. I've been playing this game for like half a year now, and it always happened. Sometimes extractions is hell, sometimes it's breeze. No changes needed. Balance is the best it ever was. How are they supposed to add new baddies or some raid boss missions if we can't reasonably kill the strongest enemies now? Some people just live to complain, and thank you. All these comments, by the way, are just amazing, and thank you guys for responding to the last video. It just lets me know how you all feel about it and if we're all on the same page, essentially. And last but not least, we have Elroy2139. Hopefully I'm not butchering your name. As a diver that plays anything from 2 to 10, if you want to make it difficult, choose a less effective loadout. Even in the days the game was too hard, I found myself looking to experiment. Maybe I'm in the minority, but I'd rather have an easier game with a healthier player base. Holy smokes, I cannot speak. Yes, exactly. Another great post, and I couldn't agree with you anymore. I mean, honestly, it's ridiculous now. Why not just enjoy it? The game before was a little weird, right? It wasn't in the spot that it is now, but yeah, it's a lot better now. So those are the top 3 comments. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for commenting and showing your support. I truly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.